Howdy, Ray. I'm behind the camera today and not in front of the camera, and we're going to do a little interview. Now, Ray, what would you like to say first?
Hi, I'm Ray,
And?
and I'm here today to answer Kelly's questions.
Okay. All right. So, Ray, tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you to a place of where you are today? Where did it start? And start at the beginning and fill in the gaps until we come to present day, because people are curious as to, why would you want to do something like this? And what put this within you to do this? So start at the beginning.
There was a big bang. Is that too far back?
Well, you might come up to the point where you got started, interested
I
into.
started out as a child.
Okay. And then moving on, you became a teenager, and I believe, is that where you got the interest in being an audiophile?
Yes.
Okay. What put that interest within you?
Yes.
Okay, I need a little more information, like what grabbed your attention to think, this is what I want to do? And don't say yes. So just start at the beginning and be yourself. We're almost 2 minutes into this. Let's
I don't
get
know
going.
what self I could be.
You were a teenager, and what happened? What sparked it?
It's difficult to say, difficult to remember exactly the genesis of it, but I remember it wasn't actually me, it was actually my brother, Rand.
And it's Rand, now yes, he's your brother, but there's something special about him being your brother.
Yeah, he's a goofball.
Yes, he is. And is he not your identical twin?
Oh yeah, he's my twin brother. Yeah. Okay. So we all had to do these. I think we were sophomores in high school. I think, kind of forgotten a bit, but we had to do this project where we had to actually go to a business or something that we were interested in, and spend the day with at this business or at this whatever it was, vocation of some sort. Again, the details are a little fuzzy, and so I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know my brother and one of our classmates, they selected a high-end audio video store. And I've actually forgotten the name of that store now. Of course, it's no longer in existence.
It doesn't matter.
So they went to spend the day there at that store, and my brother actually got hooked on it first. Hooked on the high-end audio video first, I would say, in that respect. And he grabbed this is before computers. This would have been in the late 70s. And so they had the dealer, again, I can't remember the dealer's name, had literature on all these products, speakers and receivers, and just stereo receivers back in the day. There was no multi-channel or home theater of any kind back then. So it was just stereo. But they have some great speakers and speakers, brands that are still around today, like Infinity, still around. I don't believe Sansui is still around, but maybe they are. I haven't looked at it for a long time. But that's how it got started. He brought home this stack, probably an inch thick, it seemed like, of, I'll call the high glossy 8.5 by 11 brochures for all this equipment. And he just grabbed one of everything that he could find in the store, all kinds of literature. And so I started looking through it, and we both kind of got really excited about that. And then the dream was kind of, hey, let's start our own store. Let's have our own store. we'll call it early audio. And again, there was no home theater or anything like that. It was just audio back in the day. And so we had the early audio. Well, we never actually had early audio, obviously, but that was the original spark of interest in high-end audio. And we ended up piecing together a infinitesimal little stereo system. We got infinity speakers. I remember we got a Yamaha receiver, a TIAC cassette tape deck, and a Pioneer direct drive turntable. I remember that. I think it was an ADC equalizer. Not positive. I don't remember for sure. But that's what kind of kicked it off, and yeah, that's what started me down my path, I'll say. So originally I was, in high school. Of course, it's high school, and originally I was going to go be a doctor, and then, but like I said, just got crossed over, and I'd get so excited about, this audio and half-speed vinyl masters. We'd listen to them on our stereo, and so finally I just said, hey, I've got to go into engineering here to learn more about this. And so I abandoned the medical route and went into the electronics route. And so forever will dominate your destiny.
Right. So you went to college and
Went to college.
spent 4 years.
Went there, yeah. And I came out of college and so
That's what you do.
I went to work for Boeing right out of college.
And what were some of the jobs that Boeing, or programs, because with Boeing you worked on programs, so what were some of the programs like, tell me the first program that I think you really worked on, tell me about that you were so excited about. You came home and you said, Kelly, this is what I'm going to get to do, that you were so excited about, because not too many people get to do this. And you can have all kinds of stories.
Well, I don't remember everything here, what was what and who was what, but I started out working on B-52s on the offensive avionics system. So that was when I first started out. And then I went into got my security clearance and went into some secret programs. And then from there, though, I did get to go, and I worked on it was the last iteration of Air Force One program. They were upgrading to these Boeing 747s. And so I got to start on that, and that was kind of an interesting program. It was kind of fun.
So what happened when you were working on those 747s? What significant thing happened that you were excited even to be able to work overtime on?
I'm not sure I remember exactly what it was.
It's pretty important.
I remember just being able to go on the aircraft as being the kind of highlight of the program.
And whose aircraft was that you worked on?
It was Air Force One program, yeah, Air Force One.
And so for those who don't know what Air Force One is, that there might be someone out there. So who is Air Force One?
Oh, that's the president. There's actually 2 presidential jets. And when the president is on board, President of the United States, obviously, when the president's on board, the designation is Air Force One. When he's not on board, there is no designation as such.
And if the vice president is on,
It's Air Force Two. Yeah, it's called Air Force Two.
Okay.
So that's the distinction there.
Okay, and then?
So then I went to had an opportunity to we moved to Alabama and work on the International Space Station, and I thought that would be an interesting program. At the time, it was set up to be a 30-year program, and I thought, well, good grief, this will be good. I kind of like, space, outer space, and see what's going on. And so I thought, well, I'll be able to retire one program and retire. And so obviously, since I'm making this video, that didn't happen with one program. I was on that program for, I don't know, about 14 years, I think.
Long time.
Yes, quite a while. So, and I got to do some exciting things in that regard.
Yeah. What all did you get to do? Like, just as a human interest story, what were some of the things you got to do while you were working on that program that people might find interesting that most people don't get to do?
Right. Well, aside from all the governmental red tape on working on government programs, I did finally make it out to the launch pad for one of the space shuttles at the time. Of course, the space shuttle fleet is now retired, but it was interesting to go out to the launch pad with the space shuttle on the pad. And although getting there was, I should say, getting there vertically was a challenge because I was very scared of heights, and they had the grate on the floors there on the catwalks, so I basically just kind of had to close my eyes or look up or look somewhere else. And
so how high up are you whenever you walk across those grates? When because you did exactly what the astronauts do whenever they go shuttling into space.
And they go up farther than we do. We just went into what they call the payload changeout room.
Okay, so how many stories up is that?
I don't know how many stories it was. They said it was 163 feet. And that may not sound very high, especially for someone if you're not scared of heights. But for me, being scared of heights, it could have been a mile. It felt like a mile in the air. And so being up high there. And so then I did, make my way to get into the payload changeout room, which is enclosed, thankfully, and slip into the clean room bunny suits, as we all affectionately called them, and see the various payloads we were looking at the time for that. But and I made several trips down to Kennedy Space Center at the time to support the International Space Station program. So.
And I just want to add that oftentimes I was allowed to go with him. And one of the things that I got to do with Ray is one night we got to go out to dinner with some of the astronauts that go into space. I thought that was just really cool, because it's not every day you get to say you're going to dinner with whoever the astronaut of the day is. Which there's not a whole lot.
It's like the soup of the day.
It's like the soup of the day, yeah. Or the entree of the day. So it was really neat to get to, as a wife, and I think Ray actually doing the job, was quite the experience to be able to get to go have dinner with a lot of other people, but to sit at the same table as some of the astronauts that go into space, or were going into space at that time. So you moved from there, and different things took place, and scooting further on down the road.
In the timeline of things. Yes. I started work. I mean, I've lost track of the timeline here, and I kind of am guessing that it was around 2007. I'm not sure the exact genesis of it, but. It started this idea of, which, we didn't have a name for it at the time. And now, I call it now high end for the common man.
The space shuttle.
And, no, that didn't have anything to do with the space shuttle.
No, but I want you to tell them about the space shuttle that you worked on.
I never actually worked on a space shuttle.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
Sorry. So yeah, she's backing me up. So it was the Space Launch System. It was the shuttle replacement, and that program is actually still ongoing. I've worked on that for a while, but that program's still ongoing.
Okay, and what does that mean? What does that do?
That's just the space vehicle that is the replacement, if you will, for the shuttle program.
Right.
And it will eventually be the stepping stone for returning to the moon and hopefully getting out to Mars. So,
What'd you do on that program? What was your position?
I was in test at that time, and so
what part of the space shuttle did you work on, or
it
whatever
was
you want to call it?
It's a space launch system, they called it.
All right. And what was your job?
My job
when
was to
testing?
test, and I was doing some testing on, and just various aspects of the new, the flight computer, testing the avionics for this new space launch system. And it has different configuration now, obviously, but at the time, it kind of looked like a variation, I'll say, of the space shuttle. But there was several versions, still in the works. Some would be unmanned, others would be manned. And so, again, it was this part of this space launch system, so that not every mission had to be a manned mission, but it could be, logistics mission or, launch satellites autonomously and so forth. So,
So then things changed again, and now here we are where we're at, and you never quite lost your desire to do home theater.
right. It's so yeah. In the interim of when my interest in high-end audio was sparked back in the late 70s, then, as many people know, they have multi-channel sound now, and you have home theater, you have Dolby Atmos, and on and on. There's a bunch of different surround formats nowadays, and so, but my desire for the high-end aspect of that, of those electronics, is really has just grown and grown over the years, because I know a lot of people don't know, but those who do know that the best high-end electronics are made, right here in America. So there's some great brands that are still around today, and new ones coming on board, which is always great. But and I did finally make it out to attend one of the consumer electronics shows and visit with some of the high-end brand representatives and so forth, and see and hear different demonstrations, and so that was exciting. That was exciting. That was a lot of fun. A lot of people, a lot of fun. And but I digress. And through all this time here, I just feel like the Lord had kind of prompted me to come up with this idea. But I've been working on for a long time. Like I say, I think since around 2007 is what I was trying to think of, to where just come up with a different methodology and a different, to use the technology that we have today, but in a different way, to make these high-end audio and video components, which are incredibly expensive in the high-end area, make them affordable to everyday folks. I've had some very, very what I call entry-level high-end systems, but I've always wanted to take that next step, and and cross over. I could easily put a system together that was $1 or $2 million at least, without batting an eye. And so, but I had to rein myself in a bit. You can obviously do excellent for a lot less money than that. But the fact is, high-end audio video equipment is very expensive, and you have DACs that are the price of your car, and a pair of speakers that cost way more than your house, and even the interconnect cables can be, the price of an SUV just for a stereo pair of speaker cables. So you can really go up and up and up in this realm, and I've never lost my passion and desire to do that, and so I've just put together an informational site kind of at this point, high end for the common man, and I just abbreviated HEFTCM.com, or as my wife likes to say, HEFSM.
So what drives you? Yes, you have passion for this, and you've had passion for this as long as I've known you, because I didn't come into your life until '88. So what is the driving force behind this? What makes you, other than just you love this stuff, there's the driving force behind all this that what you want to do in our personal lives, that we are believers, we're Jesus followers, and so he is why we do what we do. But what are some of the goals that you want to see happen? Because we're not doing this just for Ray and Kelly.
Right, we're doing it for Kelly and Ray.
But what are the things that maybe God has placed on your heart? Because he comes first.
Right. Well, there's a number of things, and I don't want to bore everybody, because everybody has their own goals and dreams and hopes and so forth. But yes, we pray to be blessed, to be a blessing, and there's we want to give more to the church and our church specifically, and to see things accomplished, and then the church body as a whole, we want to be a blessing. Sure, absolutely, to be blessed, to be a blessing. That's for sure. And then, like I say, I want to, introduce more people to it's really, it's my passion, and it's many people's passion. There's plenty of high-end audio aficionados out there, and so I'm just one. But I hope to introduce more people to it's really a joy to hear something on an amazing system, and to watch people's reaction for the first time, because they literally have no idea. The younger generation are used to, now they think if they get an updated pair of AirPods or whatever you put in your ears to hear music from your phone, well, that's all well and good, and you can hear music through there, yeah, but once you hear it through a pair of speakers, and that are just can't be equated to anything except expensive. The fact is, it sounds like no other. It sounds like no other, and once you experience that, you almost could never go back.
Right, and it has some benefits. The one thing that you have said to me, and I have experienced myself, is when we're listening to quality sound, you can listen to it forever. It does not, with a basic stereo system, after a while you get what they call listener's fatigue. And it's like, oh my gosh, I got to turn this off for a while. My brain is just like, can't take anymore. But when you've got quality sound coming in, you don't think about wanting to turn it off.
That's right. You can't hardly get enough. And there's, like I say, there's plenty of people who've dedicated hundreds of thousands, if not, $1 million or more dollars to just a 2-channel audio listening room, and that's it. No video, just audio. And once you experience something like that, again, it's just amazing, and you want more. You want more.
Right. And it's, so even though some people refer to it, and again, as we are believers, I love to worship the Lord. And so I can worship for hours, absolute hours, whenever I'm listening to worship on a sound system. If I'm not in person listening, to our church, which is a part of the praise band, which I can do that for hours as well. But when I don't have that, and I have a really nice sound system, I can worship at home and worship forever.
Is that the end of the multiple choice questions?
I think that's it. I just thought the viewers might want to understand where you're coming from and why you do what you're wanting to do, and bringing them in on this opportunity to basically get their sound system for free and really enjoy stuff.
That's right. Coming to you live via video.
Live in person?
Live in person, but not really. In the great state of Iowa, where we live.
Okay,
So.
well, I guess that's probably enough information for now. I just thought it might be good that some of them might be wondering, why would you want to do this, and why is this important to you, and what you want to do with it.
I don't know if that's a good explanation. Once bit, you'll go down this path. So I am a high-end audio video aficionado. I want more. Okay.
And I want hidden, except for the screen. So, anyhow, well, Ray, I guess we can sign off for now. So, peace out.
Osmosis amoebas.
Have a great day.